What do you do as a business owner if you're anxious all the time? That's a great question, and we're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by mycleaningconnection.com, and there's a bunch of resources on there for business owners and business owners that are expanding. So if you're a small cleaning company and you're starting to grow your business, and that's what's causing you to be anxious and a little bit frustrated, there's a bunch of stuff in there on management, on hiring people, on expanding your business, on profit and loss. There's a bunch of stuff that will help you grow your cleaning business. mycleaningconnection.com. All right, on to today's show, which is from an entrepreneur, a small business owner that has a cleaning service, and she says, I'm anxious all the time. I'm okay, I'm not super stressed out, but I'm just anxious. And I wonder, does that anxious feeling ever go away? All right, that's a trick question. And my answer to you is the anxiousness is not the problem. How you manage the anxiousness is what we're going to talk about. Because it's good to be a little bit anxious about your business. If you woke up every day and there wasn't some kind of a little bit of feeling of tension inside your body about your business, then you're probably either just running on easy street or you're probably not doing enough to keep your business afloat. Now, it's great if you have all of your ducks in a row and you've expanded and you're at a place of, just kicking back and doing nothing. But that's very rare for this type of business. This is a business where there is always stuff going on. There are always employee challenges. There are always customer challenges. And instead of always being super stressed out about it, a little bit of tension is a good thing. It lets you know you're in the game, you're doing all the things correctly. Now, I have a riding lawnmower and I love it. It's so much fun. But the blades do not turn without a certain amount of tension on the bands. The bands go around the big deck and they hook up to the blades. And if there's not a certain amount of tension, the blades don't turn. When I get in my car, I have to step on the accelerator. If I didn't step on the accelerator, the car would just sit there, right? It wouldn't go anywhere. So there has to be a little bit of oomph to make your business go. It's the same with tension. If you wake up in the night and things are racing through your mind and you're like, wait, I could fix this in my business, that's good. That's the sign of being an entrepreneur. Now, we don't want it to be so consuming that it eats up all of your sleep. But if you wake up every morning excited to go to work because you have a solution to a challenge or a problem that you've been working on, that's good. And so how do you manage that tension? How do you manage the anxiety? Because if it's super stressed out and it's paralyzing you, that's a different problem. Now, how we can overcome some of this is very first and foremost, we want to take care of you. If you are the boss, you are the glue that holds your whole company together. So we want to take care of you first. And that comes along with eating right and sleeping and exercising. Now, those are three things that you cannot outsource. You cannot pay anyone else to sleep for you. The amount of sleep that you get is yours and yours alone. You're 100% responsible for it. You're 100% responsible for the benefits that you get from the sleep that you get. Now, there are people that have an alarm clock that wake them up in the morning. And there are people now, you can even do this on the iPhone, that has a going to bed alarm at night. So it reminds you, hey, it's time for you to shut everything down and go to sleep. So you can set an alarm to go to bed at night. You can set an alarm to get up in the morning. And so you have this window, like you're giving yourself permission in advance that these are the hours you're going to sleep. And so this is yours alone. Everyone has to sleep. Only you get to benefit from it. So if you only sleep 2 or 3 hours a night, you're not doing anybody any favors. We wear our lack of sleep like a badge of honor, like, oh, I only got 2 hours of sleep last night. Okay, that's not cool, right? That creates more tension and you make poor decisions and you have bad judgment when you're tired. So you want to make sure you get plenty of sleep. The other one is exercise. Now you say, well, I'm a house cleaner. I exercise all the time. Yeah, you do. And there's lots of movement in the course of a day. But there are other things that happen in your head that you don't get unless you actually trigger the endorphin release. And so a lot of times that's going to come from doing aerobics, from jumping on a mini trampoline, from throwing on a pair of walking shoes and getting out and going power walking, or from actually jogging. So unless you actually release that energy, you can't get the endorphins. Otherwise, you just wore yourself out, and at the end of the day, you're just exhausted, right? But to combat the exhaustion, believe it or not, throw on a pair of shoes and go outside for a walk. Because once you get the blood circulating through your whole body and you release those endorphins, it's a natural drug and it's absolutely free. And so all you got to do is you got to put the time in, because you can pay for a personal trainer, but you cannot pay for the benefits of good health unless you actually do the work. That is something no one can give you. You cannot buy it. And then the other one is eating. What are you eating? What are you consuming? Did you realize, and this is a very interesting thought, but do you realize that how you feel is directly linked to what you eat? I'm not trying to be ugly. I'm not trying to judge. But what I'm saying is this. If you had a really expensive car and it only ran on premium fuel, and you went out and you poured water from your garden hose in it, do you think it would run at optimal capacity? The answer is no, it would not. And so you as a person are so far more valuable than your car will ever be. And yet we throw all kinds of stuff into our bodies that do not belong. And then you feel like crap and you wonder why. Guess what? That's why. You got to pay attention, because as a business owner, you're your company's biggest asset. How you feel and the fuel that you're running off of is directly related to what you consume. And so my suggestion is stop the sugary sodas. I'm not knocking any particular soft drink company, but there are a lot of drinks out there, and there are high energy, high powered drinks. And there are, Mongo King drinks that will give you extra energy, and there are little, 5-hour energies that will give you extra energy and all these things. But what happens after a while of consuming all these things, you get adrenal fatigue. Your body stops responding to the way it did if you ever just took one. And then if you take one, you get this jolt and you're like, oh, wow, that was amazing. I should do that again. And you do it over and over and over again until it stops working like it did. And then all these signals that you send to your brain, like, hey, keep me going, start to break down, and your immune system starts to break down. And there was one girl that was on 5-hour energies a day. She said, my adrenal glands are shot. I have no energy and I am exhausted all of the time. Like, stop, whatever you're doing, stop. Obviously, it is not working, right? It's not working, thus you feel so tired. So my suggestion is choose healthy choices. You can get a banana spinach smoothie and you can get so much more energy from it than you can a sugary soda that is full of caffeine that after a while is going to deplete your reserves and it's going to break your system down. I'm not saying a soda here and there is a bad thing. I'm just saying it's not going to serve you for the long term. So again, your health, it's something that no one can give you. You are 100% responsible for your own health. And if you get sick, it completely takes you out of the business and your business goes away. You're not able to work if you are sick. And so your sleep, your eating, and your exercise is paramount to how you feel. So if you're anxious and if you have tension in your business and if you're frustrated and if you have anxiety, you have control over all of that. And you might even consider something like meditation or yoga, something that slows your system down and it helps you reframe your state of mind. You may consider a mantra. A mantra is a little saying that you say to yourself 100 times a day, and it helps you calm yourself down. I don't know what the way is that you're going to do it, but you may even consider hypnosis. There are just so many different opportunities to control the anxiety that you have naturally. And I'm not talking about getting medicated and drugs and all that stuff. I think a lot of that stuff has a purpose, but I think it's highly overrated. And I think when you are heavily medicated, you are not as effective. So my suggestion is go natural. Go as natural as you possibly can. Get your sleep, exercise, eat healthy, and it's amazing what will happen. It will take about 6 weeks to completely clear your system of all the garbage that you've been putting in it for many years. And after it starts to get out of your system, your eyes will start to get clear, and you'll start to have more energy, and you'll start to sleep less at night. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll wake up like, oh, hey, I get to go to work today, instead of, oh, is it already morning again? So I'm telling you, a little tension is okay. A little anxiousness, it's okay. That's part of growing a business. It's part of the competitive spirit. It's part of moving forward. It's like stepping on the accelerator in your car, right? It's what keeps you going. If you didn't have deadlines and commitments and jobs and responsibilities to your family and your kids and your employees, there's no reason to go to business. There's no motivation. That's what keeps you going. So don't be afraid of a little anxiousness, but if it's absolutely consuming you and it's paralyzing you, maybe looking at these other 3 things, the eating, the sleeping, and the exercise, would completely help you reframe what's going on in your personal life. And then realize not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur or a business owner. You might be in the wrong line of work. I mean, you just might be in the wrong line of work. I've known lots of house cleaners that wake up one day and they're like, what am I doing? I don't even like house cleaning. I'm not good at it. And it's super stressful. I'm going to go get a 9-to-5 job. And they bolt and they've never been happier. So this is not a business for everyone. So give yourself a little bit of time and give yourself some patience, but be good to yourself, because if you're going to be in this business long term, you and your health are going to be the foundation that keeps it all together. All right, that's it for today. Until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.